Hello everyone, welcome to sqadia.com. Today we are discussing cell cycle and we are at this particular step to discuss the role of cyclins in the cell cycle. So let's get started. We are going to have the discussion of the control of proteolysis by ACF and APC that we discussed. Both are the ubiquitin ligases that plays an important functions in the activation of some molecules, and we are going to see in the coming section and the coming lecture what are the different functions of both SCF and APC, but we'll have an overview of the discussion of their role in this particular section. This would be followed by the discussion of the major cyclins and the CDKs and how these complexes are being formed, and then we are going to have a look on the initiation of the DNA replication for both of this particular cyclins in the cell cycles and how the pre-replication complex is being formed from the origin of replication, and how cyclin B plays an important functions in the cyclin B and cyclin S, and we will talk about the role of cyclin G1 CDK kinases in the formation of S phase, in the activation of S phase signaling. So let's get started. So talking about the control of proteolysis by ACF, we have a CDK inhibitor protein, the CKI, which in this particular case is P27. When under the presence of kinase activity, it's being phosphorylated, it is going to be recognized by an active ACF, which is basically a ubiquitin ligase with the help of ubiquitin and E1, E2, which are the ubiquitinylation enzymes. They are going to tag ubiquitin molecules over there, over the phosphorylated surface of the inhibitor protein of the CDK, which is CKI, or of course the C27. So this tagging of the ubiquitin results in the polyubiquitinylation at the CKI, resulting in the degradation of the CKI in the proteasome, of course. Talking about the control of proteolysis by APC, the anaphase promoting complex, of course, it's present in an inactive form, but it is being activated by the role of CTC20, which is being activated by the action of polokinase. That's not the topic of discussion over here. So what happens in this particular case, it's being active by the action of CTC20. So what happens is they are going to cause the degradation of the M cyclin in the proteasome using the same mechanism by the action of the ubiquitin and the E1, E2 ubiquitinylation enzymes, both of these resulting in the activation of the proteolysis in the proteasome. So talking about the major cyclins and the CDKs that are present, we have over here the G1 CDK that basically binds with the cyclin D in this particular case, and cyclin D, there are three different types of cyclin D, of course, as well. In case of the vertebrates, they are going to bind with the CDK4 and CDK6, of course. Talking about G1 to S transition CDKs, we have cyclin E that is specified for the G1 to S transition, and it binds with the CDK2 primer. Talking about this S CDK cyclin, we have cyclin A that binds with CDK2, of course, and the M CDK, which is the CDK that is specified for the M phase, and it binds with the cyclin B, of course, and cyclin B in this particular case have its partner in the form of CDK1. So talking about the initiation of the DNA replication, of course, we have over here the ORC, the origin replication complex. What happens in this particular case, there is the CDC binding, and this CDC binding is going to cause the recruitment of MCM proteins over here, and this recruitment of the MCM protein is going to cause the establishment of the pre-replication complex as shown over here. This particular establishment of the CDK, this particular establishment of the pre-replication pre-RC or the PRC pre-replication complex is going to cause the activation or the triggeration of the S-CDK cyclin phase, where the activation of the S-CDK is going to cause the, of course, phosphorylation of the CD6, which is again being recognized by the proteasomes after they are being tapped with the ubiquitin, resulting in the degradation of the phosphorylated CDC. So after the CDC has been phosphorylated, there is phosphorylation at the ORC. In this particular case, this would result in the opening of the DNA structures, that is of course double-stranded, and of course this would be resulting with the help of FCM2, which are going to be functioning as helicases in this particular case, And of course, they are going to cause the recruitment of the DNA primase, they are going to cause the recruitment of the polymerases. There are so many different compounds that are going to be recruited by these, and they are going to cause the completion of DNA replication in this particular case. So, in this particular section, we started off with the discussion of control of proteolysis by SCF and APC, and we discussed their inhibitory roles as ubiquitin ligase, where they plays an important functions by primarily by causing the degradation. Talking about the APC, where it binds with the CDC20, causing the degradation of the securin protein, resulting in the, of course, activation of the separase, which basically separate two sister chromatids. We discussed the role of ACF, which basically cause the inhibition of the or the proteasomal degradation of P27, which has been activated from P21, and P21 was activated with from the, of course, P53 protein. We discussed the role of major cyclins and the CDKs, how and what are the different types of cyclins that are present in a particular phase and what their partners are, and they are going to bind in that particular phases. We discussed that, and then we started off with the discussion of initiation of the DNA replication. We moved with the starting off with the origin of replication complex, where it is being recruited by the CDC molecule, where it's being phosphorylated, and after phosphorylated it's being degraded after the the MCM molecules have binded, resulted in the formation of pre-replication complex, and how after the degradation of the phosphorylated CDC6 there was phosphorylation of the resultant pre-replication complex where ORC was present, and there was a phosphorylation of MCM2, where of course they performed the action of the ligases in this particular case, resulting in the recruitment of DNA polymerases, resulting in the recruitment of DNA primases, and resulting in the completion of DNA replication. So that was all for this particular section. Thank you for watching sqadia.com. I'll see you in the next section.